did Carrot Top ever need to be ripped?
I don't know. Bad self-esteem issues.
Bigger
probably.
props.
He looked bigger prop. He got fucking.
Do you think he has a tiny penis? Is that why he decided to get ripped? Because why do guys get ripped? Because a guy with a giant dick isn't out there in the gym pumping iron all day.
You know, they just have weird body issues, right? Just like girls. Girls tend to go down the puke in a bag and put it in your closet road.
True.
And guys to go down the I'm gonna do a fucking zillion chin-ups until somebody fucks me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, a guy with a giant dick isn't at the gym 24/7. He's fine. He's like, no, I got a giant dick. I don't know.
I guess.
I'm sure they work out, but they're not, like, really, really doing everything to be...
They don't have to go overboard.
No.
They just have to have definition.
Yeah. And honestly, overboard is weird when some guy can't put his arms down.
So fucking weird, doesn't it?
You just look weird. You look like one of those chickens with the puppet arms. Have you ever seen them?
If you wear it well, you become famous. Like, that's why Arnold Schwarzenegger became, like, a god. Because he was that ripped and wore it well.
Yeah.
Like, he looked like it was like, holy shit, does that guy look good like that?
But some guys go too much on the arms and then no legs. And some guys have, like, they look like an hourglass in a bad way where it's like their legs are giant and their arms are giant and they have a tiny waist. So
it's like, I just eat chicken. Like, that's it.
This is fun. Oh, this is fun making fun of men's bodies. Woo! This is the best time. I get it why guys
what about fat guys?
I love them. I fucking love a good fat guy. A beefy fat guy, not like
you just don't like guys that make you feel bad about yourself while you're fucking them, right? I mean,
that is true because that has happened to me before. One time I hooked up with a guy that was a literal lumberjack. And he was so hot, and I'm like, why are you with me? Why do you want to do this? I kept on, and I was like, this is so awful because I feel like someone's gonna jump out and be like, gotcha, and like surprise. I don't know.
Well, and the other thing too is like if you're with somebody who's like thinner than you sexually, then you're like sucking in your gut while you're fucking is an awful feeling. You know what I mean? Like trying to suck in your gut and fuck through that. You know what I mean? Or get fucked through that.
Get fucked.
Right? So you're like, you're sucked in all the way and like.
But you're working your core, so that's
you're not breathing much. You're.
That's why it's so annoying whenever like it's a group of girls getting a picture by a guy and then he does a video because he has to know that none of us are breathing. So, like, you can't just be, like, standing there for 30 seconds. None of us think it's funny. We all think you're an asshole. We're all not breathing and sucking it in so hard and pushing everything out. And you're recording it and then be like, oh, just kidding. I took a video.
Yeah, because that's the hard part for girls, too, is because you've got to suck in and push out.
Suck in, push out.
Suck in, push out, face up.
Put a leg in front. Never have a camera below.
No.
Ever.
Camera's got to be Google Earth cam. Mm-hmm. It's got to be a Google Earth cam that's zoomed into your chin.
Yeah.
You know? It's got to be from the moon.
And it's why, there's always a guy that thinks, oh, take a picture, ladies, and then they get down on their knee.
And it's like, what are you doing?
Everyone's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, every girl in the photo has her face in the grass.
I just have mine under the ground.
Hi! Yeah, you're just like coming out like a gerbil.
Yeah. Like, for every selfie that you see from a woman, I don't know how men do it, but for girls, literally she's taken 200 pictures.
That's what's crazy about that's what's crazy about photographs in general is that people are trying to create this illusion and it's like, but we already know what you really look like.
Yeah.
Everybody already knows. It's sort of like the sound thing where people are like, oh my God, is that what I sound like?
Yeah.
I thought I sounded better. Like we always think we sound and look better than we really do.
Yeah.
We look worse than we think we do and we sound worse than we think we do. And the things that we do in our lives, people think are shittier than what we actually think they are. You know?
Social media is awful.
It's a weird thing that way, where our lives are way shittier than we present. Like, no, don't put that picture in. Why? Because it's you.
Yeah.
It's closer to a real interpretation.
Because it's exactly what you do look like.
Yeah, it's a closer. That's way too close of an interpretation of what I actually physically look like.
I feel like I look pretty close to my pictures. Like I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, you're pretty
pictures.
close.
I do some mild editing.
Except when you have the baby filter on.
Oh yeah, that one was sexy though. The baby filter was sexy.
Yeah. Okay.
I posted it and I was like, maybe I shouldn't post this because someone's gonna be like, this is
Did
disgusting.
somebody get on you?
No, nobody did, but I'm sure somebody unfollowed me for it. I don't know, whatever. But
I mean, it's always hard losing a follower.
Oh, it's so hard.
Oh, I don't have any.
I would love to see a Sean Lacomber Instagram account. Like, I would love to see what you would post.
Ooh, people would have to follow it?
You don't have to. You could just start it, and then people would just organically follow it.
I couldn't know. What is Instagram? It's more pictures than...
Picture Twitter. Like it's.
So Facebook is arguing.
Yeah. Twitter is arguing. And Instagram is like making you feel bad about yourself. Making others feel bad about themselves by making yourself look amazing.
Hi, I'm in Barbados again.
Right?
That kind of stuff.
Like your Instagram, like this is.
How many followers do you have? Oh yeah, because you're all you're wearing your glasses and you're having fun.
What?
Let me see if I can tell which pictures you're broken and which pictures you have money. Okay.
Oh, that. I got a bottle of champagne.
A little bit of money.
A little bit,
Not
but not mine.
broke, but not thinking about it.
Broke, but not broken.
Yes. Enough money for, okay, yeah, these are the same. Mm-hmm. And then this one, yeah, you're with friends and it's marriage and yeah.
I don't like this. This is like when you stole my joke book once in winter and I was so mad at you.
Broke. This
no,
one, you're with a cat and you look like you've been crying.
No, I was really high.
Oh, you were really high?
That's not cries. Those are high eyes.
Oh my god, you look like you just cried.
No, I was really high. I should put that there.
Have you ever posted a picture of you crying and said something like, this is how I feel?
Yeah, no, I've never. This was me after a panic attack, and I'm like, me every day is after a panic attack. Like, it's not. But
Did you watch the debate last night?
I watched, like, I don't know TV, so I didn't realize
it was Joe
until
Biden
later
versus Donald Trump.
Yeah.
First of 3 debates. Debates usually don't mean anything electorally.
Yeah.
Usually not. Like, it's like, I think I read something where they look back at like the last, 10 presidential debates.
It's just a way to get sound bites.
It didn't swing anything.
It's just a way to get sound bites and memes and like.
Yeah, the person who won the
election
debates,
is happening.
The person who won the debates in the last 10 elections lost the election.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
The thing that I find funny about Trump though is like that he thinks that this election, he's already claiming that this election is rigged because people are mailing in votes. And it's like, if you're already claiming that, you are very worried that you're losing, and you don't, because he of course does not want to lose any face. Like, oh my god, that would be.
He's gonna leave office. Like, he'll leave in a timely fashion, but what he's gonna do is be like, I got beat. Like, he spent the last 4 years people were saying like, yeah, he didn't win. He won the electoral college, but he didn't win the popular vote.
Yeah.
And he's like, I did win the popular vote. Like, so he's been railing against winning the popular vote and voter fraud. So he's already played this voter fraud thing out, and now it's mail-in voting. So when he loses, if he loses, he'll leave office. Yeah. But then all of his followers and him will be able to say, like, he really was a winner, but they stole the election. The deep state intervened and threw all of his ballots into a river. Yeah. Because he kept going back to that debate. They found it in a river. Yeah. They found it had my name on it.
And also, Trump, he keeps on saying it says Trump on all these ones. I'm like, you're not allowed to open them until election day.
You guys,
who's looking at these envelopes?
Instead of talking about COVID-19 and all those deaths, let's remember that there was a waste paper basket in Philadelphia that had 8 pieces of paper, and they all said Trump. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's insane. Like, he's unhinged and like. It is so funny though, because like literally, like I love at the end how Joe Biden's wife came up and hugged and kissed him, and Melania was like, "Don't you fucking touch me! I swear to God."
Well, Melania, I mean, she stayed in New York and didn't go to Washington right away because she wanted to alter her prenup.
Oh.
Yeah. So like they were like, oh, I guess she's not gonna come to Washington until her son is
smart lady. She's probably said, I'm not coming to Washington until I change the prenup because this is bullshit.
Yeah, if you win this fucking election,
we're changing it.
We're changing this because my allowance isn't set high enough.
Yeah, it's going up, mister. If I've got to pretend to care about you for the next 4 years, it's going. I guarantee you, she's going to divorce him if he loses. Like, you just leave.
She clearly hates him.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you get what you go for. Like, she knew exactly what she was going for, but now all the fact that like he's only paid $750 in taxes and all of his businesses are bankrupt and everything, it's like this is so fun. This had to happen. He had to win for his downfall to be so fucking good. It's gonna be good.
And he had like the thing about Trump too is I really thought his strategy was smart. Yeah. But it didn't work. Like, his strategy was like, I'm going to interrupt you and insult you. Mm-hmm. And he did it with Hillary as well. Wrong. Yeah. Remember, he would just say wrong over and over again. Yeah. But he didn't say that because he was like, oh, that made me look stupid. Yeah. So he just was like, okay, I'm going to interrupt and insult and then back off and then let him finish. Because the whole idea was Joe Biden's 77, he's going to slip up. Confuse so the whole point was to be like, to let Joe Biden start speaking and then go, your son's dead and you're dumb.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, continue.
Yeah.
And then, so say something really insulting and horrible and then back off.
And then he said, shut the fuck up, basically, and people thought it was going to be bad for him, but everyone was like, no, it was awesome, because we've all wanted to say, shut up, man.
Because what he needed Joe Biden to do is to have to ask Chris Wallace a few times, can you repeat the question? Or like,
oh, yes.
Because we all know, as comedians, like, you could be up on stage telling a joke.
You should work in, like, political spin.
We know as comedians. You're a
spin doctor. You know that?
I'm a spin dentist.
You're a spin doctor. Stop it. Stop selling yourself short. You're better than a spin dentist, and certainly better than a spin veterinarian.
Fucking veterinarian. Like we've been doing comedy long enough to know, like, you could be telling a joke that you've told 100,000 times.
Yeah.
And if somebody in the middle of it goes cheese, you're like, what the fuck did he eat?
Yeah, and then
you're like, what the fuck was I talking about? And so you can't even, like, you were just saying a thing that you've already said 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Somebody said one word, and then you were like, what the fuck was I just talking about? So you know how hard it was for Biden as a fucking 77-year-old who is losing his cognitive ability to, like, have to start talking about COVID-19 and his talking point that he said a few times. And then Donald Trump is like, raspberry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, raspberry. Idiot, you're an idiot. Go ahead. Sorry, actually, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish it. Finish what you were going to say. You're an idiot. Finish it.
Do you think that they chose Joe Biden so that he dies early and then a black woman can finally be president?
I don't think that they really had a choice but to take Joe Biden because black people love Joe Biden.
They do?
Yeah, black people love Joe Biden.
I thought, according to Trump, he's a severe racist or whatever. I don't know. But what Trump said? I thought Trump said he's a bad man.
We should rename this podcast to According to Trump.
According to Trump, we're the very best podcast
Welcome to the River of Truth. No, I think, black people love Joe Biden because Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders had momentum going.
Yeah.
Same thing as in the last election. Bernie Sanders had the momentum. And then when it all of a sudden became a diverse crowd, Bernie Sanders doesn't know how to, like, high five properly. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like Bernie Sanders would be more popular amongst.
You would think, but he's not.
Yeah.
Like, Joe Biden has this ability to, like, cross racial divides.
Yeah.
As just, like, a genuine person who doesn't seem like it's an awkward.
Yeah.
Like, Bernie Sanders would be asked questions about the black community and be like, we're gonna. Give him windows. You know, like, he didn't know what to say. Yeah. But Biden, could always be like, I've gone through hard times, like, so that black people, because Bernie Sanders was killing them, and then when they were in white states. Yeah. And then when the states became more diverse, or like 50-50, all of a sudden Joe Biden just took over and dominated and ran the table. So the minorities are for Biden, and they generally swing the election. Yeah. Huh. I don't know enough about politics. I just watch it for the funny videos the next day. Yeah, and that's all Trump wanted, was to have, because you forget the shock of a debate. Like, it happens and then you digest it and you're like, that was fucking weird. Yeah. But then what he wanted was to have, like, 3 surviving clips. Yeah. Where it was just like Joe Biden going, can you repeat that question? Where am I? What was I saying? What state are we in? Where's my handler? Yeah. Why am I out of my room? But isn't Trump the same age as him? He's fucking 74 and pretending he's a teenager. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. Like, why won't he ever look in the camera? He just always looks off. I guess he's looking at people there, but at least Joe Biden, looks, isn't that like something you're supposed to do, is look in the cameras because you're speaking to people at home? You know what would be worse is if Trump was good looking. Like, if Trump was like an attractive man, that'd be hard for people like you to deal with. Where it's like, oh my God, he's saying awful things. But no, look at Trudeau. Everyone hates Trudeau, and he's a pretty attractive man. Like, you'd have to, he's not hated as much as Trump, but he's hated by some people. Trump supporters. Yeah, Trump supporters. Yeah, oh my God. Generally, Proud Boys. I was in Sylvan Lake, and Proud Boy. What's a dumber name, Proud Boys or Soldiers of Odin? I think they all sound pretty lame. Yeah. They all sound pretty lame. But I was in Sylvan Lake, and
was talking about Trudeau because I always say, oh, I loved quarantine because Uncle Justin kept sending me money and all this stuff. I kept calling him Uncle Justin.
You're gonna have to pay tax on that.
Yeah, this man was so mad in the crowd, and I'm like, I see you're mad. I see you're mad. You probably have like a fuck Trudeau sticker on the back of your black pickup truck. And
What did he say?
Like, he was so mad at me, so he just kind of sat and pouted. They hated me for about 20 minutes of my set, and then I think they kind of were okay with me at the end.
Really?
But,
Oh, because you talked about Trudeau and they were like, that ain't right. That ain't funny.
yeah, I just called him Uncle Justin a few times, and he said something about, whoa, sir, bullshit, blah, blah. And then it was talking about how being a parent is the dumbest, most selfish, awful thing you can do. And this woman in the front was like, I literally saw her say, well, I'm a parent.
That's just terrible because
So is everybody.
And it's funny too because, when you start out parenting, you're like, oh no, we're going to try to keep our carbon footprint to a minimum.
Yeah.
And then,
my kids are never going to be on TV.
Oh, fuck.
Watching TV. My
day
kids are
2,
never...
you've got 9 garbage bags and you're fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, I think we were like, why don't we do cloth diapers?
Oh, no, you did not.
I know people that have done no diapers.
What do? They just let them out in the yard?
They are just like, I get a read on her. Like, they can just...
I get a read on her.
They honestly are like, I get a sense of when they need to use the bathroom, and then I take them to the toilet or whatever.
And hold them over?
Or take them to the potty.
How long do you have to hold them over?
You just fucking hold them over like you're lifting up a turkey by its legs.
Why would you hold it by its legs? If it poops, it's going to just...
Who cares? Let it shit onto its own face.
It's going to piss all over itself.
Hold it up by its legs, and then it shits all over its own face. That's how you
get... This is where the people that like to get shit on and pissed on in the bed come from. That's
they
those
got
kids.
held upside down and allowed to shit into their own mouth.
Well, I don't think they're going to shit in their own mouth, Sean, unless they're like, how do you...
Well, they're
going to
shit, and then... Do you think the shit would fall down your back?
Of course it would!
Are you sure?
I am sure. I'm not a scientist,
maybe
but
that's why
your bum is in the back, your bum isn't around your face.
Yeah, and I think that's strategic. I think that's like evolutionary. I think our assholes started like right by our genitals.
Yeah, and
then time
kept getting infected.
was like, whoa, we gotta
Women
move
kept
this
getting
puppy
yeast
back.
infections.
Women kept getting fucking pickled puss. And guys kept shitting into their own faces.
Oh my god. Why are guys shitting upside down?
Which is, that's some in nature.
Because their parents raised them like that.
Yeah, my parents raised me like that.
Yahoo! You know what I mean?
I think that would be harder to poo, because don't you need the momentum of sitting for poo to come out? Like, you gotta push really hard for it to go up.
Then you develop really good core muscles.
You got a real strong sphincter muscles.
I shit upside down for the first 2 years of my life.
This baby's got abs. He's got shit abs.
That's the new fitness trend.
That's the new fitness trend.
The new fitness trend of shitting while hanging upside down.
Get in.
Somebody get an email to Joe Rogan and get this out there, because if he talks about it, it'll happen.
My ankle Velcro's not working on my shit 2000. You know what I mean? Like, you just hold upside down like you're like people with bad backs.
Yeah.
And then and you Velcro your ankles and you just shit, and then there's a toilet under your hair. You know? I think it'd be weird if you had diarrhea, because it would
be weird. It'd be awful.
I don't like having a hot back.
Well, ew. Oh, you don't even think about pooing down your back like that.
Ew. Hot back.
Hot back.
Well, I got a hot back from shitting upside down again. I thought it was going to be a solid shit because I went to Arby's, but I guess I still have the flu.
Oh my god.
Oh, gross. Yeah, we could do like our podcast just like Joe Biden and Donald Trump did.
Just
where
keep
it's
interrupting
just
each other.
Wait, so you're an idiot. You're an idiot. No, sorry, go ahead. Finish it. Finish what you're saying.
You should do one whole episode trying to get me to follow.
My favorite thing is like when one person, that's my favorite thing in any debate on television, is when one person's talking and the other person disagrees. They're just seeing their face and they're always like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to interrupt them, but is.
But Trump just said shit. He didn't think it. He was just like, nope, idiot, dummy.
I did more in 3 years than you did in 47 in government.
Yeah,
and Biden was
what?
like, oh my God, do I ever want to say something?
I just wanted to like literally cross over and punch the fuck out of him. I hope at one of the debates there's a fist fight.
That's the thing.
It's the way America's going. Like, I tweeted that, like, as much as everyone hated the debate, it is extremely on brand for America right now. And so the marketing people of America did a real good job last night.
Well, it's funny because there were people that I saw on TV saying, you know, I don't really appreciate that Joe Biden called the president of the United States a clown. And it's like, you spent the last 5 years saying this guy's a piece of shit. Yeah. Talking about what a piece of shit Donald Trump is. And now Joe Biden can't call him a clown. Like, he's not really the president of the United States. Like, it's weird. He's really not. He's the president of Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's
like, he doesn't give a fuck.
It's so weird.
It's weird having somebody in charge of the free world who is that selfish. You know what I mean? Like,
I also love when
they're all selfish.
They're so selfish. I also love when you, like, post something as a Canadian being like, you know, Canadians watching this going well. And then there's always some Canadians like, hey, we're not any better than them. And I'm like, we're better than them. We're not great. But Jesus Christ, our country isn't literally teetering on the brink of a civil war. Like, roll the fuck down. And it's always the worst people that say that.
We're not saying we're the best. Like, we're not as good. We're no Sweden or Denmark.
But it is pretty fucking scary living above crazy people. And not knowing when they're going to explode and when bombs are going to start flying and when, like, seriously, it's... I would think a lot of Americans are trying to leave America for the winter. I would. If I was American, I'd be like, hey, which country are we allowed to go to? Because I'm going to that country.
In 500 years, Canada and Russia will be the most populated countries on Earth.
Yeah, because we're the only places people can go.
Yeah. So it'll be
it's not going to be
refugees.
Underwater or hot as fuck. Like,
Sherwood Park's going to be fucking Barbados.
Yeah.
You know, which would be kind of cool if, like, just if Edmonton is the hot, like, it'd be kind of fun. Like, that's one thing people forget is, like, climate change. It's really hard to get people.
Climate change for hot climate sucks, but climate change for us is amazing. Fantastic. We love it.
and we would also be like, haha, Brazil's too hot. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't go out without your hot suit on.
Right. We'd be on our high horse, like, oh, you got to wear your astronaut gear to go to the fucking play soccer, Pedro.
Yeah,
and we'd be up in Canada like, hello,
we are going to be America one day. We are going to be the
How are your scorched dirt up golf courses down there in Mexico?
We are going to be smug assholes eventually.
We're going to be pricks.
I don't know if we'll live to see that,
electrified fence up.
I keep thinking, well, I'm not going to see shit in my lifetime, but I'm like, well, maybe I will. Some shit is happening.
Yeah.
It's a little crazy.
There'll be nowhere will be, like, Canada will be sweet, like a sweet pocket in 500 years of climate. And so we just got to stay here, and then our great-great-great-grandchildren will be fucking living it up. They won't have water or...
Well, not mine, because I'm not having them. Well, my great-great-grand dogs.
Your great...
Even though my dogs are neutered and spayed. I'm never going to be a grandmother.
Oh, that's right. You're never going to... Oh, my God, the Kathleen McGee genes end now.
Thank God.
But that's okay.
The genes ended when I didn't have a human, not when I had puppies.
Well, I know, but you should. That's why you should have had a kid, to be like, there's a new Kathleen McGee in town, you know?
That's one of the biggest things about parenthood that I've always found odd, is why would you want another one of you running around?
Well, the people that I've never gotten is the ones that name their kid, like a junior.
One of my friends as a junior.
That's ridiculous. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
White, black, Asian, whatever. There is no excuse for, like, hi there, I'm Ron.
Sean
and
2.
This is Ron Jr.
Yeah.
It's just, like, fucking...
Would you do Sean 2 or Sean Jr.? I think Sean 2 would be good.
Sean 2 would be really pushing it.
I think it'd be funny. Sean 2.
Hi,
Sean
2.
Part Sean, the sequel.
Are you Sean Jr.? No, I'm Sean 2.
Sean
2. And if you do good, you can be Sean 1. And then I become Sean 2.
No, then they would be Sean 3.
But then I'd be in an old folks home.
Yeah, but you'd still be alive, so Sean 1 is still there. Sean 2.
Fucking old folks homes are scary.
I didn't like him before COVID, I don't like him after.
I feel like COVID is almost a gift to them. Like, when you think about how horrible it is.
I would hate to live there, yeah.
Imagine going to some place where, like, imagine if it was like, never let me stay in a fucking Best Western.
Yeah.
Never let me end up in a Best Western. And then you were walking around and everybody in the Best Western was like, I never wanted to stay here. Like, an old folks home is like, none of them ever wanted to be there.
My mom moved into one and moved out of it because she hated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She wasn't old enough, though.
No, she wasn't old enough.
She would have been the young lady.
Well, she was 68 when she moved in there. That's still pretty good.
Why did she hate it so much?
She just did not like, she's like, everyone's too old here and dying. But you're right, it is kind of like, but at the end of your life, you have to go and live with everyone else that is dying, and then slowly watch people, like,
You get to feel young for the first 5 years you're there, because you go, like,
yeah.
I think we've talked about
but you still have to watch everybody. Like, I was talking to, like, one of my uncles, my aunt passed away this summer, and he's like, yeah, I just basically read the obituaries every morning and find someone I know, and then, like, he's like, you know, when this happens, you just realize that your time is close. I'm like, it's such a crazy feeling to probably have to feel.
Once you hit your 50th funeral, I think there's that. You go to your 50th funeral. Like I think we've talked about in the podcast before, that you're gonna have to go to 900 funerals, and I'm gonna have to go to 3, right? But like, there's.
Well, who says I have to? I don't have to go to that one.
I'm more than no. You're gonna go.
Only about 4 people I'd go to their funeral.
No, because you also seem like somebody who could give a eulogy, right?
Oh, I did. Once I eulogized my uncle, and he was a teacher, so there were a ton of like teachers there. And
hot teachers.
No, they were all crazy teachers. Okay. But I did his eulogy, or I hosted. I don't remember what I did. I hosted his funeral. I did his funeral podcast.
I did a quick 10.
And
my intro was botched.
But I killed.
You did?
Oh, they loved me. All these teachers came up after, like, that was so great. Your uncle would have loved that. And blah blah blah.
Was he old when he died?
No, he was not. He was in his early. He had cancer.
Good for you, because it's hard to pull laughs at a young person's funeral.
He wasn't like 40. He was
if they're 80,
something.
I feel like it's easy to get a laugh at a funeral when they're like 70 plus.
Yeah.
But if you're at a 14-year-old girl's funeral and you're like, remember that time she went to that? People are
the younger it is, the harder it is.
What is this exactly?
The younger it is, the harder it is to kill at a funeral. It's hard to kill at a funeral.
Very difficult to kill at a funeral when the victim is 10.
Yeah, it's too hard. That is impossible.
That is tough.
That is pretty hard. Unless the kid was really funny.
Yeah, and then you're telling his jokes or something.
Yeah.
But then you're a thief. You're a joke thief.
Yeah.
Which is not a good look.
Not a good look.
So you gave I think I've done. I only did a eulogy I think I did one at my mom's funeral.
Yeah.
And then I haven't done any other ones. It never seems like a good idea.
Eulogies?
Because you gotta get up there and kind of like fib a little. He was so great. And but you're like, I don't know, man. There was a couple things he did that were fucked up. Like everybody's got their little flaws, but then at a funeral, we're supposed to just be like, he was unbelievable.
He was amazing. Yeah, of course, because nobody's gonna come out.
Anybody who said a bad word about like.
But the people that come to the funeral aren't the people that hate that person, unless some people are real sick and they come.
Like I went to a funeral, and you knew the guy was an asshole because there were 3 eulogies, and all of them mentioned what a good golfer he was.
Oh, and that's it.
And I was like, nobody brings up golf or lacrosse or hockey at a eulogy unless the guy was a prick.
3 eulogies? Why'd they have 3?
Well, just like 3 people went up and spoke.
Oh.
And then all of them at some point, very early on, were like, he could hell of a short game, and never saw him miss a putt under 3 feet, and I'm gonna miss him.
I'm gonna miss him. Thank you.
It's like, whoa, what kind of eulogy is that? Talking about fucking, isn't there anything better to say about him? Did he love his kids? Nope, but he never pulled a 9-iron in his life, either dead straight or a slight cut.
Yeah. I had so much fun shopping for wedding dresses that I'm going to shop for your funeral dress now. I can't wait to die.
I can't wait to be dead.
I'm going to buy the prettiest dress to die
in. Good luck
in.
getting money visa.
Oh, yeah.
They'll get it out of Adam.
They'll get it. They can't. Legally, they cannot go.
They'll get alimony. Alimony's a weird... we'll talk about your wedding after.
We don't have to talk about it, but alimony...
Isn't alimony weird? I feel
Isn't that only for ladies, or can men get alimony?
Oh, men can get it, and it's weirder then.
So it's like when is alimony when whoever makes more money has to pay you for your lifestyle?
Isn't that fucking weird? I think the concept of it is.
I think it's there to protect women that literally give up their lives so they can raise a family, and then they get divorced, and it's like, okay, now I have no skills.
Right.
I have to go back to school, so now I need money to go back to school. So I think that's who alimony is for.
Yeah, but the idea of I became accustomed to a certain lifestyle is now you're gonna have to grow accustomed to a new lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you stayed home and did dishes and made chicken.
Well,
and
I guess it depends on. But I guess it depends on what happens. Like, what if he fucked around on her and she left? Because then it's case by case basis.
Yeah.
But if she was the shitty person and left, then you shouldn't expect.
It should totally depend on what sacrifices were made, you know what I mean? If 2 people were just together and one of them worked and the other one didn't, that doesn't necessarily mean that person you know, like one of us has to make a bunch of money. Okay, I'm gonna put my career on hold.
Yeah.
I'll raise the kids. You go to school. Like, if they were with you when you went to school to become the thing.
Before you made your money. If they come in after, that's a different thing. But that's not alimony or
like if it's too like if you were with them for 3 or 4 years during their university and you had a young family or something, then absolutely you're entitled to that.
Yeah.
But if you came into it and you were a nurse and he was a dentist, and then you just stopped, nursing.
A nurse. Can I make it in?
You know,
sorry.
Like you just stopped nursing. It wouldn't be like, oh, now he owes me. Like, why? Or she. Like, it's even with, like...
I think a lot of times...
Like, if you became a famous female comedian, or just, why did I say female? But if you became a famous comedian, and then somebody was like, you broke up with somebody, and it's like, oh, now you owe him $100,000 a year. You'd be like, well, why?
That's bullshit.
Why the fuck would I owe anybody?
And how do I get them killed?
How do they die? I would I'd be like, you're never, you know, like, I guess I'm cheap or something, but I would be like, I'm gonna jump, I'll jump off a fucking bridge, you know what I mean? Like, I'm never gonna, if you get some of this, then I'm never gonna earn it.
Yeah.
I'll be under a bridge.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be on the fucking street. You know, just out of spite.
I would live on the street. I knew of a comedian that is like successful that got a divorce, and he was ordered to pay her $10,000 a month because when she was married to him, he was on a successful show and was making a lot of money. But when they divorced and everything, he wasn't making all of this. It was child support. He was showing $10,000 a month in child support to take care of. But he's like, I'm not making that much money anymore. I'm not making enough to give you $10,000 a month.
Yeah, there has to be like a Hollywood court that people in Hollywood go to. But it's like to figure that out.
Well, that's the thing, because
you can't take like LA and then have it decided in a court in Oshawa.
No,
because they're gonna be like, oh, well, these rules are written for welders and fitters.
Yeah, I know.
And now we've got to try to fit it into. This guy was on a big show in LA for 5 years, and now he's not.
Yeah, well, this is why I sometimes I wonder about like how fast your money dries out, because this is going to be a long way to get there. But today is International Podcast Day. Happy International Podcast Day!
Oh, thank you.
This is an international podcast, I think. But
listen to regionally.
Regionally, internationally,
but internationally available. Internationally available and only listened to within a 3-kilometer radius of this apartment.
Yes.
I mean condo. Board member.
Pardon me.
Member of the board.
we have listeners we've had listens
in
every province.
In every single
province.
Except none of them. And the Northwest Territories.
I'm going to take out a Facebook ad and
more diverse. Where's your fucking orange shirt anyways?
I had a sweater on. Okay. It was orange. But okay, no, so I was looking at this list of like podcasts you should listen to, and it was like filled with celebrity podcasts. And I was like, these fucking celebrities do not need more help. Like, give it to the people that don't have anybody listening or know who they are.
Hey guys,
but
give a shout out to your favorite podcast. Oh, Kevin Hart has
I hate it.
Are you serious?
Hate it.
So you guys makes $50 million a minute, and he needs more people to be aware of his podcast.
That's
lots of people shout out Dead Baby Bear though.
They do. We have gotten some shout outs.
Oh,
that's nice.
Probably from poor people.
They're probably poor. But
did I ever tell you that? Like, I used to go behind people's, like whenever people were audio or video recording their set. And then they would tell a joke, and then it would get like a big laugh or something, and then I'd look into the camera and I'd be like, just so you know, for the record, only ugly people are laughing right now.
Oh, you asshole!
And I would say that to every, and then it would get in people. They'd be like, oh, maybe I'm an ugly person comedian.
An ugly person comedian. Oh my god! But this is my thing though. It was about celebrities don't need this. But then I saw one that like the 2 ladies from The Office do, like the 2 secretaries from The Office do, called Office Girls or something. And then I'm like, well, are they fucking broke? Like, because their show's over and neither of them are on a new show. But I'm like, but then that's bad money management skills on those celebrities have. So I just don't think, I fucking hate, and it's like daily, a new celebrity has a podcast. I'm like, leave podcasts alone. Let people who have absolutely access to nothing do podcasts.
Rich people always win.
They always win.
Rich people win.
Well, because they find something that poor people are winning at and they move in on it. That's what they do.
I saw this documentary called Capital on Netflix, and it was like, the feudal system in Europe, and if you owned land, you were rich and you became richer, and if you were poor, there was no upward mobility. So then they moved to the New World, right? They would populate like Canada, the United States, Australia. And they'd be like, okay, finally we're out of that old shitty system where these people just own everything and we have to pay tax to the rich people whose land we work on and we can never make any money. And now we're here in Canada and we're going to make it. And then, as soon as they realized the ground was fertile enough to farm, rich people from Europe were like, we're going to, and they would just be like, we're going to buy 800 slaves.
Yeah.
So we're just going to buy 900 slaves and put you out of business.
Rich people.
So you're like, man, we just fucking got off the boat. We started making carrots.
Yeah, why do people that are already rich need to get richer?
So that's what this is. Get it. These rich podcasters, they're buying slaves.
Fuckers.
And taking us down.
Fuck you, Joe Rogan. Honest to fucking God. Leave it alone. You're making $100 million a year to podcast. He should not get any more shout outs. I'm sorry. Shout outs are done.
He didn't, you'd be stupid. You'd have to be the dumbest person on earth. Be like, hey guys, what are you listening to podcast wise? Like, check out Joe Rogan. Like,
have you heard of the Joe Rogan experience?
Have you heard of Joe Rogan? Yes. We've all fucking heard that he does a podcast.
Yes, thank you very much. No, it would be nice if people...
What podcasts do you listen to? Do you listen to any?
Like once in a while, I'll listen to some murder ones when I'm on a road trip.
You're into the murder shit.
It's good. Sometimes I'll listen to... I don't know, like one that I listen to... I don't know.
I don't listen to any comedy ones, just like political or whatever.
I'll listen to Ari's, because Ari's usually has interesting conversations and guests and stuff, but no, I don't like listening to ones that are trying very hard to be funny. That it's difficult to listen to.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I've done enough laughing.
I'm laughing.
I'm done laughing. If I never laugh again in my life, it'll be fine.
You just laugh.
I'm all laughed out.
You just laugh though.
No, that's not laughing.
That's smile talking.
That's smile talking.
You laughed again.
Oh no.
You're just.
But I'm just saying, like, if I never laughed again, I'd be like, that's cool, because like I think that's how I'm gonna die. It's like I'll laugh at something dumb you say, and I'll be like, why can't I feel my left side of my body?
And then by that time that's you out of the body, and I'll be on the ground, be like, well, he's
Promise
gone.
me that if I die during this podcast, you'll air it.
Oh yeah, of course.
You will air it.
Yeah.
Because it'll be
Sean, who are you talking to?
No, Sean, don't die. And I'll be like,
That'll be that.
And Jim will tilt the camera down on the fucking dying eyes. Like,
and we could have called 911, but
no, not worth it.
Not worth it. He doesn't want to live.
You can just tell you could just tell it was a biggie.
It was a biggie. I knew it was going to be a big one.
911 doesn't rush to this.
That's the letter. 911. Don't, you guys take her easy. This one's gonna be a sirens off because it looks to me as though he's going out fast.
Have you seen that one of the
still alive now,
dying on stage?
Like really dying?
Yeah, like he dies. Like it looks like he sits and then he like kind of.
Was he
slumps.
doing good or was he bombing? That'd be the worst if you were bombing and then you physically
died.
You can't get a laugh out of these people, and then you're like, oh god.
But he just like passed over about my wife. I'm surprised more people haven't died on stage. Remember Kevin Smith almost died on stage. Wasn't that in Edmonton? Where he had the heart attack?
Fat comics have to be very careful on what they close on. Don't make it a sing and dance routine.
No.
The fat comics that have like a song and dance routine, they don't last long physically, right? They break down quick because they have to do like 10 minutes of way down yonder on the Chattahoochee and like fucking lights are buzzing and they're dancing and
how
they're
many
fucking
fat
sweating.
comics that you know do stuff like that? I never see them do high.
Who?
Who does high energy comedy?
I don't want to name them on the fucking podcast, but I knew they're dead now. But I knew if
they're
you
dead
were like
now.
Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than a
hoochie coochie.
They're dead. They had a song and dance routine closer that they had to do to sell merch after their shows, and eventually it fucking shut their heart down. You know, just write your way out of a dance closer is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You should find a way to, if you're fat, write your way out of the dancing closer, because the dancing closer is going to kill you.
Would you ever do something fake? Like remember when Jamie Kennedy came to Yuck Yucks Edmonton, and he was filming his documentary,
called like Heckler, like Heckler,
and he told I think Carrie Unger was hosting, and he was like every 5 minutes bring me up a shot, but just of iced tea. Mm-hmm. So they thought he was getting wasted, but he wasn't. And then he literally ended the show by just pretending to be too drunk and fucking leaving. Like, it was such a weird show.
And the funny thing is, the crowd loved it. Right?
They loved it, yeah. And didn't he bring Jennifer Love Hewitt to sell his merch?
Yeah.
He did.
Which is okay.
Well, for her, what a shitty low point for her. Like, selling merch for, like, a low-level comedian.
Like, she probably wakes up in the middle of the night and is like, well, I can't believe I did that.
Jennifer, I can't believe what I did last summer.
I can't believe what I fucked last summer. Yeah, like, she's signing 8x10s with her and Jamie Kennedy on it and then blowing them.
God.
Blowing them at a Best Western.
She must have felt really bad about herself when she was dating him. Like, she must have been really just not getting any gigs. Like, Jennifer, she must have... Because she was the biggest thing for a while. She was a big
hot
deal.
Shit, for sure.
She was
Yeah, Jamie Kennedy, that was... I actually enjoyed that Jamie Kennedy thing because he was the first guy that, like, really capitalized on fame.
Yeah.
Where, like, normally people in the crowd would be like, that guy was just drunk. What the fuck was that? But it was like, oh my God, we got a famous person drunk. So, like, the crowd left on this massive high of, like, we did it. Like, this person that we know from television came here and we did it. We got him so drunk he puked.
We partied with him.
So he didn't really do any material. He didn't really do very well. He had a few heckler lines, and then at the end, he would like run off stage as if he needed to puke.
Yeah.
And then the MC would come back on, and the crowd would be like, "Yeah!"
Yeah.
And we would go fucking nuts.
Did you see the Andy Dick incident? Were you there for that? Because I think that happened like a few months before I even started comedy, because it was still big news when I started.
Yeah, we
didn't he whip his dick out and pretend it was a wristwatch?
Yeah, what time is it? Yeah. He's like, what time is it? And then he would put like, he would bring up like a guy on stage, and then he would make the guy like face the audience, and then he would give him a drink. And then while he was doing that, Andy Dick would turn around, whip his dick out, wrap it on the outside of his wrist.
How big was his dick?
Big enough to put around his hand, around his wrist. So he'd put his penis around his wrist.
That's why Andy Dick's not ripped.
And then he would look at the guy and go, what time is it? And then the guy would be like, I don't know. And then he'd be like, here, check it out. And then the guy would be like, oh! Because it was always like a redneck.
Yeah, of course.
He would pick like the redneckiest guy and bring him up and do like a bunch of gay shit to him.
Oh my God. So, but then what happened?
We knew it was going to be a shit show. Yeah. Because we're like, oh, we're going to go down and check out Andy Dick, I guess, like whatever. And then they were like, oh, I heard this morning he urinated in the studio at K-Rock. Like he went into
and he's not the first person to do that.
He went into K-Rock and was doing an interview in the sound booth, like just whipped his dick out.
Because he was high or drunk, or he was just being an asshole?
I don't know, like it was like the day Mitch Hedberg died, so he was like, oh my God, Mitch is dead. And people were like, who the fuck? And people were like, who in the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah.
It was kind of funny, like 50 minutes of the show was music. Mm-hmm. Like it would be a guy going up and doing cover tunes for 50 minutes to the point where the crowd was like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like it would just be a guy from...
It wasn't even him?
No. He would bring like a street...
Fucking celebrity.
He would bring like a street performer middle act who just did Weezer covers. But they were like really good Weezer covers, so people at the beginning would be like, this guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then, 48 minutes later, the crowd's like, this is a Weezer concert or something. And then after 50 minutes, the crowd would start to become like really restless and sort of angry. Yeah. And then the guy who was on stage is like, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Andy Dick. And the crowd would go nuts. And then a guy who would come on stage who wasn't Andy Dick. And he'd be like, yo, I'm Andy Dick. What's up? And the crowd's like, boo!
That's actually really funny.
Yeah, because like, it was 50 minutes.
That's very Andy Kaufman-esque. That's actually quite funny.
50 minutes of Weezer covers. And the crowd's restless. And then here he is, Andy Dick. And you're like, finally. And then you're like, it's still not Andy Dick. Like
that is really actually, I feel like he might have planned that way. Yeah. That's actually really funny.
Yeah, so that guy would do 20 minutes pretending to be Andy Dick.
That's incredible.
And then that guy would bring on the real Andy Dick, and Andy would come on like shattered. Yeah. Like just trashed. And there's like posters on the wall, and you'd be like, what is this? Cancer fucking benefit. What a bunch of fucking idiots. Like, so he was making fun of like the core of that.
Alberta,
yeah.
I wish I'd seen that. Fuck, I wish I'd seen that.
I mean, we loved it. Like,
my God. But didn't he disappear for 2 weeks after that? Like,
I don't know.
I heard that
he took off like after the first. He got fired. I think after the late. Like he did one night. He did 2 shows on one night and got fired.
Yeah.
And then after he got fired, like apparently he just took off with some people that were in the crowd. And then the people that were like, so his handler.
Who are those people? We need to talk to them.
So he had like 2 handlers and then his opening acts and Andy was like, fuck this. And just left after the show and got in a car with 2 people that were at the show and went and partied with them for like a day or 2.
Well, I thought he wasn't found for 2 weeks. Like, can you imagine me? Those people would be like, we just wanted to party one night, Mr. Dick, and then he's just like hanging out with them for 2 weeks.
I miss you. And they're like, who in the fuck is? Can you Google Mitch Hedberg?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that? But we loved it. I mean, we loved every. I think myself, and a few other comedians went there, and it was just. Well,
amazing. That sounds like a comics show.
Absolutely, because it was a disaster.
Yeah.
Right? It would usually end on a disastrous note, and then the club owners and the managers and the high-ranking comedians that took themselves quite seriously at the time. Andy Dick basically went in and looked at everything that they did and represented and was like, "What is this stupid shit?"
Yeah.
So right away, like the main comics and the management where they were like, he can't continue. Like, it wasn't a matter of like, I will ride the weekend out. He's kind of a trainer. It was like, he can't continue. He can't make fun of our things. Yeah. He can't come in here and fucking rattle our pots and pans.
The people at Yuck Yucks when I started were very proud of who they were and were very thought they were untouchable. Like
they were very accustomed to having their way.
Yes. Yeah. Even Yuck Yucks. Like,
it would have been very difficult for people like that to transition from being in management at Yuck Yucks in the 90s and early 2000s and then all of a sudden working at fucking Arby's or something. You know what I mean? Like, the transition would kill them. Yeah, because they were used to being able to like wake up at noon and like, what time is it?
I gotta go pick up Andy Dick from the airport.
Like people at Yuck Yucks at that time, like I would get a phone call at like 10 in the morning and they'd be like, where the fuck are you? And I'm like, what? I'm at home. What? And they're like, you're supposed to be at the airport. And I'm like, I've never done comedy before. I've never done
road work.
Yeah, like I've never done a professional show in my life. I've only done like 5 amateur nights, and they're like, you fucking greaseball. Get in your fucking car and go to the airport. The headliner's waiting for you. You're going to Fairview. Yeah. I told you this 2 fucking weeks ago. So they could play that, like, they didn't even have to book shit.
And you were so scared to say no to them.
You had to say yes.
You call in sick to work,
if you said no, you already knew the deal. If you said no, you weren't going to work for 2 years. Wow. Like, so other comedians would be like, yeah, if you say no or ask them how much money it is, you just won't work for 2 years. Yeah. So you knew, like, whatever, if they call you at fucking 6 in the morning and say you're going to Fairview for $75, like I said, it was literally considered rude to ask how much you were getting paid. I still don't, because I'm so scarred from that. I honestly have more respect for us starting than the new people. I'm sorry, Jim. But it's just like, honestly, I still don't ask how much I'm making half the time. It's a surprise when I walk off stage. I'm like, and usually it's okay, but most of the time, sometimes it's like, I thought more than $50. We were literally raised to feel like it was rude to ask.
Or just terrified of everything, going over the light. You even get a spot for months. It was so hard to get time in Edmonton because there was only a few clubs and maybe one mic. And so you were so scared to fuck up. And now, I hear there's brand new comics that email Ryan at Yuck Yucks. It's like, listen, fuckface, why aren't you working me? I'm like, who are these people? Oh, yeah, I'm envious about, and I'm sorry, how easy it is to get into comedy these days. Because it was not, when I first started, it took me 3 months to get on stage for the first time. And after that time, to get back at Yuck Yucks, I think was another 4 months from then. It was not easy.
It did take a long time.
It was not within 2 months you were getting regular spots or it is. I'm sure new comics are gonna be like, fuck you, Kathleen, because I've already had one girl comic freak out on me.
And it's nice because there's not much justice in the world, but there is justice in that the people who perpetrated that now still work in the industry under a different banner and have amateur comics tell them all the time, how much is it? No thanks.
It is called karma.
Yeah. So it's the last 10 years of their career did end in rage, I'm sure.
I don't think I said no to a gig for 12 years. Even after I was headlining at Yuck Yucks, I would say yes to everything that came my way. I still kind of say yes to everything. I'm too scared to say no to stuff because, first of all, I was told when you say no to stuff, they never call you again. They never want you again. So you're constantly having to do stuff again. And then you know, if a headliner is supposed to give you gas money, but you drive them and they don't give you gas money, and then you're just like, you can't say anything because you'll be fucked forever.
Well, and the other thing too is like, when you choose to work in an industry where you can easily be replaced.
Be replaced.
So like somebody offers me $500 to do something or whatever, that's really far away in 2 days, and I'm like, nah. Then you have to think like, well, you know,
if it's not me, it's gonna be someone I hate.
Or like, well, am I gonna be making anything at that time?
Yeah.
Like, so
I'll make $100 this weekend. Is that worth it to me?
Yeah.
And then usually is. I don't know.
And you can never be like, I'm gonna play hardball with this guy. Because he's gonna be like, dude, like, this is my rate, and if you don't like it, I'll fucking hire another.
Until you've proven yourself. Facsimile. Until people are literally coming to you to hire you, then you don't not be an asshole, but you can be a little bit more like, well, it's not.
Yeah, when people come to you, or if you like have any kind of fan base. I mean, that's the thing too. Is like, you really don't need a huge following.
No, you just need like a fan
50.
Base.
You just need like say 50 people in every market.
But
like,
the thing is,
if you're
50
not people that came to see you in Calgary specifically.
Yeah.
They'd be like, we gotta hire, like...
But if they hire you and you suck, like, if you're not good at what you do, like, there's plenty of comics out there that have great fan bases, but they're not great comedians. But so if they hire you once, they see that you can't do 45 minutes, and they're like, oh, well, but if you... Yeah. But that's... You know who can do that? Is people who continuously bring people back. Like, people like Derek Sagan will bring back people every time he comes somewhere. He's got people. You just work with him. He probably had people that came out specifically to see him.
They were sold out.
And when you're Canadian, that's like a big thing. If you have people coming to see you, that's pretty, because nobody remembers Canadians, nobody knows Canadians. But if people are coming out to see you every time you come back to that city or like whatever, that's a pretty good thing, because there's a lot of people that could bring people out, but they bomb one show, no one's going to come back and see them ever again. And
there's not many things in Canada that can like launch you into that sort of tier.
Yeah.
And the Debaters is one of them.
Totally.
Like, Steve Patterson is on another level. Derek Sagan's on another level. Like, there's a few people on that show that are like,
I was supposed to do Debaters with you, but then they were like, we cut your debate last. I'm like, God damn it.
Well, they gotta.
I just needed the money more.
They gotta pack it with white straight males, Miggy.
I know that I want you to do a white straight male count when you go, and you tell me how
white
many
straight male count.
white straight male counts, and then I'm gonna send a strongly worded message to Josh. No.
Yeah. Oh, believe me.
It's disappointing just because I wanted to go hang out with my friends.
I know. Yeah, it is kind of a fun little. Either
it is fun.
It's either the Debaters or Funny Fest. You know what I mean? Those are the two. Like, let's hang out with other comedians.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh great, no Debaters. I guess I'll do Funny Fest.
Yeah. No, I won't. No. But yeah, and now there's a Just for Laughs happening, because you see all these comics that are literally booked to Just for Laughs every year, being like, I'm getting ready for Just for Laughs October. I'm like, what is happening in this world?
Oh, is it like well, they can't be doing it. It must be virtual.
I think they're taping something. It must be.
Oh yeah.
Which sounds like so you get to do Just for Laughs, but it has to be virtual. That sounds like a nightmare.
And it's like a gala, but they're all cardboard cutouts.
People who pay for their faces
just
and their
like
dogs'
Major League
faces.
Baseball. It's fucking 4,000 laughing cardboard cutouts.
Oh my god! And then just some of the Just for Laughs people like clapping in the background.
Say Trey good. Whatever the fuck they say. French is disappearing.
Say Trey
it's such
good.
A dumb language. I don't know that
it's gonna disappear because everyone in Montreal is getting COVID. Everybody in Quebec is the highest.
Well, Quebec is very it's like a French Alberta.
It's old people too. There's a lot of older people living in
very
Quebec.
Conservative, very religious. It's like it is like a French speaking Alberta in some ways. Weird that it's weird that Albertans hate like French so much, because they have a lot of.
Well, they probably went to Quebec and had a bad experience with some French people.
They just for some reason Albertans attach transfer payments to Quebec.
Quebec, why?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like whenever they
hear
they're building a new school in.
Is it
money? I built that.
Also, transfer payment is like we gave that to another province.
Yeah, like Alberta is a have province, and so we contribute a lot more to the other provinces and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, so if you were like a hardcore Albertan, you'd be like, if we could have kept our transfer payment money, if Alberta could have just kept our money, we'd be fucking fine. There'd be a beach on every street corner.
Yeah.
And we'd all be going to the beach all the time.
Well, I want our transfer payments back now.
Yeah, give them back.
Give them back.
So that's the Wexit crew is like,
that's what those are.
We keep our revenue. Yeah. Go fuck yourself. Fuck you, Ontario. How many hospitals have we built in Ontario with oil? Like even as an Albertan, like when I would do some work for CBC once in a while.
Yeah.
And they would like do sketches about like, you know, fucking oil and gas industry or whatever, I'd be like, well, yeah, but I mean, you know, like you're not. I mean, yeah. I mean, oil's bad and all that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like half of your check comes from that. You do realize like half of your check comes from the proceeds of things that you actively work against online.
That is the irony of it all. Is like as much as people hate the oil and gas industry, like they got a new high school in their neighborhood because of the oil and gas.
Yeah, if you got an arts grant, or if you did something with CBC, or you did something where they take money from the government, or like there's subsidies, that money probably came from industries that you personally despise, and you have to like know that and be okay with that.
That's true.
As opposed to being like, I can't fucking believe that we're contributing to the warming of the planet. I got my grant money, or I got the thing, I got the debaters.
I think we're all fucking hypocrites. I think hypocrisy is something that runs so random. Hypocrisy and greed is like the two things of 2020. That's the big parts of 2020. Hypocrisy and greed.
We're both a little bit.
Everybody is.
We probably are.
Everybody's a little hypocritical, or whatever the word is.
Whatever this stupid word
but like, but some are just more than others, and
something happier. What? So you picked a wedding dress?
I said yes to a dress.
How much was the dress? I mean, why do I always ask about money?
Oh, we don't.
What would a girl
it was
say?
A good chunk of my money.
What would a girl question be to that? Would they say like, what kind of dress was it? Is it Vera Wang?
They might ask, but it's not a Vera Wang. Some lady said I was at
the coffee shop. Is that a real person?
Yes, it is a real person. Okay. Which was like in the 90s, the woman you got your dresses from, but there's a lot of
yeah, geez, Sean.
She's a real woman from 30 years ago.
Vera Wang is not big a deal anymore. It's now about Panina Tournay.
He's so stupid.
Oh my god. Mine is like a nice dress from Calgary.
You had to go to motherfucking Calgary?
No, I went to Edmonton, but like, so I went to this place called the White Gallery, and it's like you get the whole, it's like a loft, and you get the whole loft, and you get champagne, and then like, you stand behind this giant stage curtain in your dress, and you go like, they open it, and now like, your bridesmaids are like, it's so much fun!
So was there one dress where they pulled the curtains and everybody went,
Well, there was one for sure that Jana did, and I saw it, because I looked at her, and I didn't like it either, and I was like, I looked at Jana, I was like,
what was wrong with it?
It just wasn't Kathleen. It was not me. I tried on another one just because I wanted to see, like, I knew it was going to look terrible. It was like this giant ball gown with like, it looked like Belle's dress from Beauty and the Beast, but like white. And it looked so bad. I was going to like send it to people and say, this is it.
And so you keep it forever, right? Like you buy the dress for 24 hours.
Some people keep it forever, some people sell them. My dress I kind of picked because I looked at it and I'm like, I could totally like cut off the bottom of it and have like a really nice like short dress after and like get something made on the bottom. Yeah, it's really...
You could multitask that wedding dress?
Oh, I could multitask this wedding dress for
Jesus
sure.
Christ.
Multi-purpose, multitask.
That'd be hilarious, like if Adam did that with his friends. Like, he puts on his suit and then they fucking back and all of his buddies are like, yeah, looks alright.
Why don't guys do that? Maybe you like it.
We just don't do that. Like I remember going to Kelowna with a couple of friends and each one of us, we all went to Golf Town and we each got a new shirt.
You didn't try them on for each other?
No.
Well, we don't try on our clothes.
We tried them, we put them on, and then we were all wearing them.
Yeah.
And then we went back to the hotel, and I remember like a conversation where like I was like, I really like my new shirt. And then the other guy was like, yeah, I like mine too. And then the other guy was like, yeah, mine looks good. And they like that was the only like none of us said like that is a great shirt.
Yeah,
like,
but none of you were like, why didn't you say something about this, Tim?
Maybe when we closed our hotel room doors, we were like, how come nobody said my shirt looked good? And then you look in the mirror for a minute and you're like, oh, I really shouldn't be tucking this in.
It kind of sucks to be a man. In some ways. Some ways it's great.
I don't even know if it's I don't know what's easier.
OnlyFans has made me realize why men get paid more than women. So that they have extra money to spend on things like OnlyFans. Because women would not spend money on nude pictures of men.
I don't know. Well, wait. So the guys that are your OnlyFans, they get nude pictures of you?
Topless.
They do?
Yeah.
You have to give that up?
You don't have to. I just choose to get subscribers.
Oh my god.
I thought I talked about this on here. Oh yeah,
no?
Kathleen.
Did she talk about it?
No.
I don't think so. I didn't know there was a topless Kathleen.
Yeah, they're fun.
Oh, okay. And so what do people have to pay to be an OnlyFan of yours?
Well, it's like a subscription is $50 a month, American. But both times that I've gotten the most, I've done a 50% blowout sale and like I guess like $25 American.
50% tit out sale.
But I've grossed over $1,000 American now.
That's crazy.
It's amazing.
And
but you know what? For years, men have been asking to see pictures of me, and I talked about it with Adam, and I'm sure it's the same thing as the ring. He's like, of course he's not good. But I'd probably play the recorder topless. It's fun.
People would probably pay you to like eat a banana.
Probably. I did first say I was going to put food in my mouth. That was part of it. So I haven't done that much, but maybe I'll just start. But I can see it like right when the renewal time comes for $50 a month. I'm going to drop to way nothing. No one's going to renew. I saw them. I don't need to see them again.
Sorry, I lost all my subscribers.
I don't care. I got $1,000 out of it. I'm happy. It's like I won. Yeah. It's like I won like the parting gift on Price is Right. Like I didn't win the car, but I did win $1,000.
I didn't even know it was like you had to like, or I guess topless just pays better, right? Like, do you think for belching, is it $50 a month to watch a woman belch?
Well, hers is like $9.99 a month.
That makes sense. Like right. Hers 10 is belch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like $10 a month to see me. No. If you really want to see me, you're gonna pay at least once some amount.
And did I already ask you how many people subscribe to it?
I think now I have 27, but that could be, or maybe it's 21. I can't remember. I can look right now. I don't think
it's it's steady income.
We'll see if they renew. That's the thing. It's like I'll see if they renew.
I like how you've created a new serve for yourself.
27 fans.
Your fucking titty serve.
Hey, you gotta keep the money coming in. Yeah, we can look and see. Probably shouldn't be divulging of how much I've made, but yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. Like you can see a little woo.
It went up when I started posting titty pictures.
Yeah, well, that's when you went to titty pictures. It looks like America's COVID. It really looks like America's COVID spike mid-March.
It does look like a COVID spike. Yeah. No, it was when I started promoting it. Like, I started putting it on Twitter. I'm like, hey, come see my tits here. Because I'm just like, give me money.
Yeah, well, it's funny because it's like, hi, I'm just going to talk for a minute and blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, there's not enough subscribers. What if I whip my titties out? Yeah!
That's why guys make more money.
Do you know any of the guys, or are they all strangers?
No, I know of some of them.
That's kind of creepy.
I don't care.
Do you see them publicly?
No. None of the ones that follow me. But, like, I don't know. I just, like, I don't care. I don't care.
Is there any guys where if they started following you'd be like, oh, no?
No. What?
I mean, obviously family, but, like...
Yes, of course. Fucking family.
My uncle.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's how I stayed out of...
$50 is $50.
That's how I stayed out of the massage industry, is I was always worried an uncle would come in. That's how I stayed out of it.
That's why I could never do skip the dishes, because then you're
like, ding dong. You might know somebody.
And they're like, oh, hey, welcome to our palatial estate. We went to high school together.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm just transitioning.
I would do skip the dishes, but yeah, that would be horrible.
I'm just in the middle of...
Every time somebody I know recognizes me working at a restaurant or a coffee shop, I feel that way, though. I'm always like, I'm almost 40 working at a restaurant coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I don't own it.
It's just good. Like, comedians are always like, oh, it's just good to work, like, for material.
Yeah.
To be in the real world for material. Like, sure. That's why, Kevin Hart's still fucking... You think he's working at Subway, so his jokes
just to keep fresh, yeah. Eat fresh and keep fresh.
Kevin Hart works at my local Subway because he just needs to write a new hour every 2 years to make an extra $50 million. And he finds that as a sandwich artist, he stays close to the people.
I just gotta make a little bit more money so I can transition out of stand-up cleanly.
Transition? Oh, you're looking to transition right
now? I don't know. I just don't want to have to, be worried and dependent on it. Like, what if it goes away again for a while or something? Or what if no one wants to book me ever again because I'm old? So, I'm just
You're not old.
I'm getting older, but I'm fucking tired of being poor. I'm so fucking tired of being poor. I have no kids. I have no reason to not own my own house or not I have no fucking reason.
Oh, I heard that. Did you hear about that? There's a crackdown on fucking weird rental properties in Edmonton.
Really?
Yeah, it was in the Edmonton Sun. There was an article about
my neighbors.
City councilors. Yeah, people like that.
Oh.
Where it's city council is
Which
now
councilor? I'm gonna email them.
I don't know. There was there was a big push from just regular people that were like, hey, there's a ton of fucking rental properties in Edmonton that are being rented out to people that are just fucking smoking meth all day or dealing drugs or whatever. And nobody was doing anything about it because it's it's a legit property. They're paying rent. They're legit tenants, whatever.
They're camping in the backyard.
So I guess city council is actually going to have to do something about it now.
Oh, that makes me interested. Because, I live next to people that it's a drug house, absolutely for sure. I hope I don't get murdered for talking about it, but like, but honestly, like, it's just, at first I'm like, I don't care. Like, be quiet. I don't care. Don't make it. But then there was like an ambulance there on a daily basis. There was this person stabbed on my front lawn. There was a man under a car at 3 a.m. in the morning. There was like a woman constantly screaming about, oh, you gonna shoot me? You gonna shoot me? And I'm just like, what if my dogs are outside sometime and they're fucking around and they shoot one of my dogs or something? Or someone high steals a dog and kills it. Like,
no woman says, what, are you gonna shoot me? Unless somebody, they know
has
they have
threatened
a gun.
to do it.
And they have a gun, for sure.
So it's just kind of like,
you don't say, what are you going to shoot me to a guy who doesn't have a gun?
I've tried to be so cool about it for so long, and it's just like, but they just keep being terrible and not even attempting to be cool. Like, if you're cool, if I know you're a driver, I don't fucking care. Don't bring it over to my property. Don't have ambulances there all the time. Don't be screaming and yelling at 3 a.m. But now it's like at that level, and I think it's because we were so nice to them.
Right, so they think you're the friendly neighbor that they
don't care when they get stabbed.
Go to Kathleen, she's got gauze.
She's not sure.
Like when you live in a meth dungeon, you don't have like a lot of first aid. You don't have a first aid kit.
No.
You know what I mean? Somebody gets stabbed, you're not like, let's check the medicine chest.
Yeah.
That thing is toast.
It's
rusted out.
And
there's not even a bandage.
There's no medicine in there.
No, that's gone. See you later.
I just hope that one day that I have like a house and like, I just want $5,000 in my account at all times. I don't even think that's too much to ask. I think that's
should give it
good.
To
That's what I'm. What do you call it? Manifesting.
Yeah, that works.
I'm manifesting.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've heard really good things about manifesting. I've heard that's the thing about when things get older and then you realize it's the same shit. Like a new thing comes along, like you just have to think it and be it and say it and then it will be it. And now that idea is 15 years old and everybody who
I think I'm definitely at the age and income level where manifesting is a big deal in my life.
It's like nothing else works, you might as well pretend that does.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so let's see, where the fuck, you're better at finding the G-spot.
The G-spot. I just scratch all over.
G-spot.
I'll just scratch all over.
Yeah, some guy fucking finger banging a girl. Just scratch everywhere.
Just make sure you look ouch. Maybe it's over here. This one is a dumb one because there's so many of them. Maybe it's on the wheel.
This one is called The Price is Right. Went up to $100,000.
Oh, please.
There's a game called Cliffhangers.
That's
There's
the
a game
yodeler.
called Plinko.
Oh, you gotta be over or the same? I don't know. This one's confusing.
I like how we're so lazy. We don't even fuck it. We just look for the barcode.
Where's the fucking barcode? Be the goddamn
top corner.
Top corner.
Oh, if he's right.
No.
What are you gonna do? Shoot me?
Watch, it's right here. No, these are all arrows. It won't be under the arrow.
You're gonna be tough to throw that threat out there. What are you gonna do? Fucking shoot me to a guy who's armed?
This woman that lives next door now seems pretty fucking tough, which is also why I'm scared to go outside because I'm like, I've seen some hard women going in there recently, and I'm like, I would not want to fuck. I would fuck with the dudes before I would fuck with any of those women that I've seen hanging out at that. Oh, there.
Meth chicks are tough.
Oh yeah. You gotta be tough to be a meth chick.
There's no room in the meth world for soft chicks.
And this is my hypocrisy is like, I try to have as much empathy as I can, but honestly, on a daily basis, I'm like, I don't mind seeing that ambulance there. I know how horrible that is, but
yeah, well,
that's my hypocrisy.
Empathy's not an endless well. You
run
out of it.
After all that
what
fucking
the
work.
Fuck?
All right, well, we're gonna have to give that away to somebody.
All right.
Because our prize winner got his. Did you see that?
Is he one of your OnlyFans?
I don't know.
Okay.
Most of them you don't know who they are.
I wouldn't want to know. Like if I was
Well, some of them actually use their real names. I'm like, who uses their real name to look at stuff? Like I use Kathleen _McGee. If you'd like to find me, it's Kathleen _McGee.
Ronnie Archibald Jr. And his profile picture is him with his dog. You think there's a lot of married guys in the crew, or is it? Somebody just texted you something funnier than anything that's happened in the podcast?
Yes.
Who texted you?
Ari.
Ari Shafir?
I texted him about the wedding because I'm like, if you want to come, you can come. No pressure. And then he was talking to me, and then I said, hey, and if you want to listen to Dead Baby Bear and say it's a good podcast, that'd be great too.
Oh, fuck.
And then he said, who's the guy? And I thought he meant like, who's my co-host? So I said, Sean, he's really funny. I think he opened for you once. And then
he thought we were getting married.
He says, I know him. He's very funny. And then he said, wait, you're marrying Sean LeComber? It's a podcast wedding. We're going to be a podcast couple, but that's it.
Oh my God. Imagine being married and being in the middle of a fight and being like, time for our podcast. That would be so fucking funny.
That would be hilarious.
We were a couple and we just had a huge fight. We're like, why don't you fucking leave?
We're not leaving because we're supposed to podcast at 7.
You love me.
And then you fucking throw a teapot at me and I say something about your mother and then hey everybody, welcome to Dead Baby Bear. Two people who currently fucking hate each other.
I said no.
Who bought the lottery ticket? I know you didn't.
I know you didn't.
Oh,
I know I asked you to last night. I know I asked you to get it last night, but of course.
No, you
so then
were.
Who had to leave 5 minutes before we started to go to 7-Eleven and pick it up?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Me?
I have 2 jobs. You have 0, but I guess you're too fucking busy to get the ticket. Anyways, have a great podcast.
I hope you fucking die. That'd be
Wait a
fun.
minute, you're marrying Sean LeComber.
That was the funniest thing ever. I laughed very hard when I saw that.
Oh, man.
Wait, you're marrying Sean LeComber.
Well, we won nothing. The podcast sucked.
It was a terrible podcast, but not as bad as the
Was
debate.
that a worse one?
Well, the debate was pretty awful.
Oh, the debate was worse.
I thought it'd be more funny too, but it was more sad than funny.
I couldn't. It's really hard for me to watch awkwardness. Like,
Yeah.
I love Ricky Gervais and I love The Office and I love, I love all that. But even then I have like a tough time. I get cringed out where it's like, it's meant to be awkward. So in those moments where it's like Joe Biden and Donald Trump and I'm like, I can't fucking watch this. Like, Joe Biden is trying not to look like he's losing his mind. Donald Trump is trying to like gain 9 points that he can't get back.
Is Jason Sudeikis playing him on Saturday Night Live, or did someone steal that from him because Jason Sudeikis hasn't done anything in a while?
I don't know.
Let's see who Saturday Night Live is choosing.
There's a movie with Donald Trump in it, like a James Comey movie.
Oh yeah, and it's like
and the guy who plays Trump looks pretty good.
He looks like him, but he's also a bigger man. Like so is Trump, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Trump's a big dude.
It's about the.
It's like the Comey something or whatever. The Comey file.
The Comey file. That sounds cute.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a Comey file. Gross.
I like a Comey.
Yeah, fucking pedophiles have ruined it for all files, haven't they?
Haven't they?
I mean, now you could be anything filed.
I bet you a file used to be a positive thing to be. Like a pedophile isn't a pedophile. Someone that likes left libraries.
Oh. Someone who likes libraries. I'm a Dewey Decimal file. Remember the Dewey Decimal System?
I don't remember how it works.
I don't know how to find a book in a library in 2020.
I just look. Well, I don't.
I go up to a girl like, "Hey, I'm looking for this." Like, They're like, "Why don't you use the computer?" Like, a book.
What? Or do they? They probably don't say anything. They just shush you and point to the Dewey Decimal System.
The Dewey Decimal, still the best system.
Do you think librarians are still losers?
Who the fuck is Dewey? Yeah, what does it mean? Because there's Dewey. It must be a guy named Dewey.
Who's Dewey? Dewey, and Louie.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Who invented the Dewey Decimal System?
John Dewey in 1812.
Melville Dewey.
Dewey, I knew it was a fucking Dewey.
Melville Lewis Kossuth Melville Dewey was an American librarian and educator, inventor of the Dewey Decimal System, of the library classification, a founder of the Lake Placid Club. He died December 20th. He died Boxing Day.
Oh, that's the worst day to die.
Is it? I guess you can't play with your Christmas gifts on that day.
Well, because then your family can't go and get a new TV because you're dead. You know what I mean? Like they got a great sale at Future Shop, and then you gotta look.
Why did Uncle Dewey have to die?
Why did Uncle Dewey have to die? I can't get that.
I was in line at A&B Sound.
I can't get that giant 18th century plasma. Whatever. I remember going to Future Shop with my brother-in-law, and he was thinking about, he worked there. He was trying to get me to buy a $16,000 plasma TV because they just came out, and he's like, "Dude, it is so worth it." And
just when they came out, how much? Oh my god!
There was a plasma TV was $16,000, and I think they were worthless 3 years later. They went right. Plasma was supposed to be this new, oh my god, it's going to be around forever. And then it was immediately...
Yeah, I got a 60-inch television on Boxing Day at Superstore for $400.
Yeah. But I was like, God, I'd love a plasma TV.
Yeah.
But it was pre-HD. So it wasn't even like you were watching some fucking pristine vision. It was like regular definition, giant television called plasma for as much as an RV.
Why do they call it plasma too? Because plasma is blood.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they would name that.
It wasn't great. It didn't last long.
Whoever invented plasma is dumb.
Well, we gotta get you back home. You're getting married. You can't be out fucking all hours of the night anymore.
I gotta get home and put my titties on OnlyFans.
Wow, that's great.
Well, we'll see how it lasts. We'll talk next month and I'll tell you how many people actually renewed. And if I got any new listener followers, who knows?
Are you trying to plug your titties on this
Absolutely.
podcast? How dare you?
Absolutely. If I could plug them on Facebook, I would, but I don't because family's there.
Facebook's for families.
Yeah, there is some family on Instagram, but whatever.
Yeah. You've seen it before. Nothing you haven't seen at the beach when I was 8.
Yeah. I used to always take my clothes off at the beach.
Kathleen, put your top back on.
I won't look up in there for daycare. Oh my god. Oh, before we go, Alyssa, my friend, and I, you know how we did I did that baby face?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we love, like, toddlers and tiaras, so we want to get a tattoo of each other. I'm going to get one of her with a baby face as a toddler and a tiara, and she's going to get one of me.
Oh my god, neck or face?
Probably whole body. Like a tiny, like, toddler body.
Oh, I mean, like, where are you going to put the tattoo?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it'd be funny if it was a full back.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay. Well, thanks for podcasting with us.
Yeah, it was nice of you to come by.
I
figured out my line.
It was nice of you to come by. Good night, Wendy.